Hi, I'm Mason Duchatschek, and in today's episode, I just want to share a couple ideas as it relates to leadership. When I was in college, I was in Army ROTC, and they trained us to become Army officers, and the leadership training was, in hindsight, outstanding. There are things that I learned there that I wouldn't have learned any other way, and I certainly wouldn't have learned it at that age. And I realize not everyone's gotten the opportunity to go through officer training or ROTC or OCS or any of those other things. So I want to share a lesson that I learned then that serves me well to this day. And one of the leadership lessons that my professor of military science and my drill instructors taught was the importance of leading by example. And what I mean by that is I like to think, at least I made an effort, but I like to think that my troops that I was responsible for knew that there was nothing that I would ever ask of them that I wasn't willing to do myself. And if I wasn't capable of doing it, that I wouldn't be willing to try and learn and develop that skill or ability. And I'll give you a real life example. I was a combat engineer. That was what I did. And I remember one year at annual training, we were out at the Missouri Army National Guard headquarters, and we were doing improvements on the location. And that was an outstanding opportunity for me to learn how to use a lot of heavy equipment that I had never used before. And I could have easily sat back. I mean, it was hot out in the middle of the summer and humid and nasty. If you've ever been to a Missouri summer, they're hot, humid, and nasty, and this was no exception. But there were front end loaders, there were Cs, there were bulldozers, all kinds of heavy equipment, and I was responsible for multiple projects, and I could have just, assigned the guys and watched to make sure that they were safe, and I could have done that. But I would have missed the opportunity to learn how to operate those pieces of equipment. And to this day, my pistol belt is still in the front field of the Missouri Army National Guard headquarters, because while I was learning to drive a bulldozer, it fell off in the dirt and we ran over it. But anyway, I had guys teach me how to use that equipment. And years later, when I went to Panama, if someone needed help, I could jump in and help. I could actually contribute to getting the job done sooner, or if someone needed a break or whatnot, I could do it. The other thing and I think that the guys respected that, because again, I wouldn't ask them to do anything that I wasn't willing to do myself. The other thing that it helped me is I would be less genuine if I didn't tell you that there were people that would test me once in a while. Oh, sir, to get that project done, it'll take 2 days. And I'm like, really? So tell me, Sarge, are you experienced in this area? How long have you been operating this equipment? Oh, I've been operating it for this long, and I do it in the civilian life too, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'd be like, that's great, Sarge. I said, I have very little experience on it, but I could have that done in 2 hours. And the reason they knew that I could do it is because they saw me. And if I wasn't a skilled operator, nearly as skilled as operator as some of those guys, they couldn't get one over on me. So it also gave me the ability to set realistic expectations of what could and couldn't be done. And if someone came up to my guys and started giving them unrealistic expectations, like, oh, this should be done in 1 hour when it should have taken 4 or 5, I knew better than that also. Why? Because I had personal experience with it and I knew the guys. So anyway, again, in recap, lead by example. Never ask anything of your folks that you aren't willing to do, and they will respect you for it, and they will work harder for you, and you will be much more capable of accurately determining what can be done in what period of time. So anyway, I hope that little bit of leadership insight is helpful to some of you, and have a great day.